Hey everyone, I'm Vitória Cribb, Brazilian creative technologist, and I invite you to dive into my world. So basically I work with digital medium. I mainly create digital narratives, short animated films that circulates both in cinema and also in art spaces. And I think these coexistent worlds are very interesting for my practice. My work have been exhibited in different parts of the world, especially in art spaces, but also in film festivals. And the last exhibitions that I featured my films was Sharjah Art Biennial in Emirates and also Mercosul Biennial in Brazil. Beyond my artistic and cinematic practice, I also run a creative studio where I attend different clients and different companies, especially in the tech world, in order to create creative and artistic projects for brands or for a company that wants to position themselves in a creative way with technology. And it's really interesting to see how my creations work in the art space and also how my work resonates with brands, companies, and other players in the industry, So it's kind of me seeing both ways to deal with my creative sides. And I think this is really special and I'm enjoying making it, So let me give you a little bit of more context about my life. I graduated in industrial design at State University of Rio de Janeiro. And I think that helped me to bring a lot of mathematical and objective thoughts to my practice, because I started working with 3D art in a very experimental and organic way around 2015. While I was, studying at the university, I could bring the way that we learn to solve problems and to be very objectively to my art practice and my art exploration. And I think that's what defined my work, both sides, the artistic and the mathematical side, and how we can be creative working with the machine and algorithms and softwares and etc. In the beginning it was only static images. I was exploring, experimenting, creating something different. And within the time, I could evolve to create short films, animations. Within the years, I started to bring different subjects to my narratives and short films. And right now, my work lives in the tension and the coexistence of humanity, nature, and technology. I always bring those three pillars to my work to reflect and explore ways of being human in a world that is changing really fast. So the first work that I want to bring to you is Vigilantes Extended. Vigilantes Extended is a short film that I made in 2022. It was commissioned by Denver Art Museum. And Vigilantes Extended is a film where I reflect a lot about anxiety, surveillance, being online, living the world entirely online. But this movie is based on my characters called Vigilantes. Those characters I started making during the pandemic. I was trying to embody the idea of surveillance, but I was not interested in the corporation surveillance. I was more interested in the community surveillance that we face in social media and in different platforms that we can access online. And I started to ask myself how these vigilantes, these creatures that observe us every time that we are online, could be. So I created this very scary but also sensual humanoids that has a lot of eyes and ears around the body, because I was trying to play with the idea of, if you watch a lot of people, if you listen a lot of people, you need to have a lot of ears and eyes, you know. Surveillance right now in humanity is something that really scares us, but also seduces us, you know. Everybody's like, oh my God, surveillance. But at the same time, everybody is there on the social media because people want to be, you know. So it's this linear between what's scary us, what is ugly, what's beautiful, what attracts me, you know. And in 2023, I released Bugs. Bugs was a movie created in the context of SESC Video Brasil Biennial. In Bugs, I was very interested to bring the idea of the cyberspace, but a way to escape from it, you know, like, and I started with this idea of the erratic behaviors, you know, when you have your machine, your cell phone, or any tech product doesn't work properly, we say, oh, there's a bug, oh, it's a glitch or something like that. So I took this word, bug, to play with the idea of what is being a bug nowadays. It's being an error, a mistake, it's being an animal, it's being a car, like the Volkswagen car, or is it having erratic behaviors that people don't understand? So I brought all these characters, all these ideas of what is being a bug means today for the artwork. And I wanted to reinforce that we as humanity are always trying to push ourselves beyond something, you know, like, oh, we created technology and we need to save nature. But we forgot that everything is the same thing, like we are nature and technology is now part of our ecosystem because of us. So we cannot see things separately if you want to change, if you want to escape from the cyberspace and live the real life, you know. So I think this work was also very a moment of liberation for me to speak about personal stuff, the way that I was created, because I was created with nature in Rio de Janeiro. I'm born, raised, and live here. We need to merge everything to understand that we are just one, and we are capable to be better, you know. And also in Bugs, I bring the Vigilant character, but in a different design. I mean, the characters still have the eyes, ears around the body, but it's a different character. It's more lonely, it's less scary, and it's more... It's like a hybrid between humanoid, a vigilant, and a bug, you know? And I think this marks the change of my work from something like humans and technology to humans, technology, and nature. And recently I released Echoes of a Wet Finger. Echoes of a Wet Finger is a movie that I made in 2024, but released in 2025 in Sharjah Arts Biennial and Mercosur Arts Biennial. It was a very interesting project to make. I wanted to liberate not only myself, but also my perspectives around all this ecosystem. So I decided to make something more surreal in order to allow myself to create something new. Use the tools and my abilities to create something that I cannot see in the real life. So I decided to make a movie about a woman that is having a very ordinary day. And when she goes to the bathroom, she sees a bathroom lizard. And when she has this encounter with the bathroom lizard, she needs to confront her subconscious and understand that maybe she is always similar to the thing that she's afraid of, that is the lizard. A woman that have the opportunity to transform herself into something that she hates, and this liberates her. It was really, really funny to play with the idea of hybridism, transformation, surrealism, and reimagine ways of being in the world, but also ways of bring difficult topics in a surrealistic way. Sometimes I think humanity needs a touch of surrealism, of nonsense to face their problems. And I think this movie was my attempt to make it. I used to play a lot of games when I was a kid, but I decided to bring one that definitely marked my childhood. The name of this game is dolls.com. It's an online game that I used to play with friends and with my sister at home. Basically, it was a very E2K land page, you know, like you had all these dolls that you could choose and dress them. I think this, in some way, molded my personality, and that's why I think I decided to create avatars. And I think it's a way to remind us that everything that, you know, like that make us good when we are kids, we can bring to our practice, creative practice. So play with your inner kids and let them express, you know. I run a creative studio called Befriend Studios. I run this studio because I wanted to attend brands and companies that want to thrive the digital world in an artistic way, work closely with clients and brands to, you know, like to deeper the connection with the digital world and with this new medium that a lot of young people love. And yeah, so stay focused on Befriend Studios, please. And yeah, that's it. So most of my inspirations for my work, as I said, I take them from my relationship with nature, with technology, and everything that surrounds me. I'm always observing how I react and behave with the machine, my computer that I use a lot to work, my cell phone, the way I connect with people, but also I am always observing me in the context of nature, especially because I grew up in a very nature context. And Rio de Janeiro has this vibe, you know, like that, this mix of technology and nature. It's always good when we can see like the wild sides of nature with the polished sides of technology and how they can connect and be wild together, you know. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed my world and see you soon. Ciao, ciao.